So I'm about to bring up this next video for y'all. Give me 1 second. Guys, I need y'all to do a little bit more commenting and hitting them comments for me. Cause I really want to know what y'all think, man. It's not just my show. This is aura. This is a aura thing. This is an aura show. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the reasons why I even started, the whole podcasting in general is because, man, I really did not have a lot of people to have like just open conversations with. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more, I was always ranting, like talking to my babe, and I would rant. She'd just sit there and look at me and be like, I was like, babe, you ain't got nothing to say. She'd be like, no, I don't. I ain't really got nothing to say because, some of the topics she may not know, may not be familiar with, or, she just be, letting me just ramble. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get on here so I can have a conversation with some other people too. So that's why I be like, yeah, man, y'all gotta talk to me. Hold on, I'm trying to find a video because I definitely saved it so I can have it ready for y'all. So give me 2 seconds. Like, did I save it? What did I do with it, bro? Where the fuck is this video at? See if it's in the history. Gotta be in the history. I know that for sure. In here talking that bullshit. Oh man, come on. Where's my video? Here we go. All right. I'm about to bring it up for y'all. Give me a second. And as y'all already know, make sure you hit that like button for the algorithm. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You feel what I'm saying? And make sure you hit that notification bell. So this one, we got my man Charlie Kirk. He is, like I say, he goes around to like different college campuses, stuff like that. And he have, open dialogue with, anybody. Anybody can come up there, they can have a conversation with him, challenge him, and he'll answer it right then and there, right? But on this particular one, I haven't like reviewed the entire thing, but I got wind of it because he says some shit in regards to like the black community when the government dropped all them drugs and shit in the community in the 80s. So got wind of it, watched a little bit of it, I seen his debates with other people, and for the most part, I be agreeing with Charlie Kirk because he be right about some, a lot of stuff. So we about to dive into this, and then we gonna add our commentary to it. So let's bring this up.
Against minorities.
Can I just press pause?
Yes.
That's all we've talked about the last 5 years. Pluto and Hulu and Netflix. We have reoriented the entire national for Black Lives Matter, to have racial reconciliation seminars, to have non-stop race obsession. So I think we've talked about it thoroughly and properly.
So do you think that black people in this country have equal opportunity and are treated equally as white
Absolutely.
people?
So let me prove it to you, okay? So Gigi and Charlie. What can Charlie do that Gigi can't do?
Okay, I don't know anything. I don't really know much about you. I don't know
Based on the
what
law.
you're capable of.
No, just on the law. What am I allowed to do on the law that you are not allowed to do on the law?
On paper, nothing.
That's equal opportunity and equal treatment, right? If you care about faith, family, and freedom, listen up. I'm proud to permanent. And right now, .us/.
Hear that shit.
On paper, yes, that is true. Like, I was born under this country. I am a citizen of America. I am an American. I am a black American. I am a follower. I am a child of God. We all are. I 100% stand on that. But I think that basically what I'm trying to get at is I feel like in order for us to have these conversations and to keep having these conversations, we need to have a specific platform that we're able to meet each other on the common consciousness of this society. And I don't think we can have these conversations if we do not understand that Black people specifically, because I really can't talk about Asians. I'm not Asian. I can't talk about other people of color. But Black people in this country specifically have never had the opportunities to bring themselves back up. When you're talking about the destroyment of the Black family, that also came with a big.
I don't agree with her when she's saying that we don't have the opportunity to bring ourselves back up. I wholeheartedly don't agree with that at all.
Chunk of the Reagan administration, which was forever and whatever ago.
How is it the government's fault of why dads aren't around?
I mean, we could get into the whole, like, the rhetoric of crack babies and crack drug
got
dealers.
It. So, but isn't it a decision to take drugs?
Oh, no, 100%.
So, and it's a decision to commit crimes.
Yes.
Okay, so the government didn't do that to them. People decided to take drugs.
That's true. But do you feel like these populations are...
All right, so let's dive into it. This is one of those situations on where, you know, I believe this is where, like, the community and the culture comes into place. Because while I understand the argument that he's trying to make, in this instance, yeah, bro, you're wrong. Because while, yes, you know, you have a choice on whether to take drugs or not, right? But I remember when I was doing a little bit of research, I heard different things from, you know, back then. Because mind you, 80s, I wasn't born. I was born in 93. But the epidemic that was going through back then it was an issue when it came to jobs. Now, of course, you still had racial tensions and like, we ain't gonna get away from that, because we know for a fact that this country at times was straight up racist when the government, all like that, straight, like, systematic racism, red line, the whole shebang. If you drop drug, and then and another thing too, just like how they arrested, what's my man's name? The white dude that he was the longest serving prisoner in history for a non-violent crime. And he from Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. I know his name, but I cannot forget. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The government had him snitching on people, and then they put him in prison for all that time. And he was a snitch for them. We know that they brought those drugs into our communities, and at a time where it wasn't no jobs, you know, it was economic turmoil. So it was either you was gonna do what? If you seen that you can move some work, what you was gonna do? Move to work in order to feed your family. And then you got people that's taking it, they making it seem like it's a good time, it's a new drug, it's a party drug, and they gonna take it, right? Because we can still ask that same question when it comes to Fenty, right? Can we ask that? Because now, remember, back then, they also had the whole, if you had the coke, they treated it differently than crack, because only a certain group had the crack and another group had the coke. But it's the same thing. But yet they was giving out different sentences for it. So let's not forget that. And that's one of the conversations that it's like, all right, Charlie, let's pull up a chair and let's have this conversation, because you're wrong. The government was a heavy influence into that, because they put it in the community. We wasn't flying over there to Colombia and you know what I'm saying, having the whole process done and getting it back over here. We weren't doing that. They did that. They had the planes. They had, and then it was to fund a whole nother situation that wasn't even here. It was to fund a war somewhere else. Like what's my man? What, Freeway Ricky Ross? And when he even tell his story, he tells that they was giving it directly to him for him to go move it. The government was his connect. Like, so yeah, you got to be held accountable for that, man. You can't just say that. Can't just say that bullshit and like, oh well, they chose to do it. So my nigga, you put it in their face during times of where they was fucked up. What you think they was gonna do?
These communities have, in statistics, been overly populated by police officers?
Well, so just you seem like a really sweet person. So I don't want to try to be too
No,
like
go ahead.
intense. Is that cool?
Go ahead. Go
What
ahead.
percentage of America is black? 13%, right?
Yes.
What percentage of the murders in America are committed by black people?
I don't know the specific statistics.
Guess. It's
50%.
It's 60%.
60.
So maybe when you do 60% of the killings and you're 13% of America, more cops should be around your neighborhoods.
Do you? But there's no cops there's not an equal number of cops in the white suburban neighborhoods.
Because
in the
there's
same
not as much
neighborhood,
murder.
the same neighborhoods that are controlling the like they have
But you look
cocaine in
at
their houses, but it's not treated the same.
And this is okay, Gigi, because it really is flushing out our different worldviews. You look at cops as if they're there to catch you and get you. We look at cops as they're there to protect and serve and help us.
And that's only because in this country, I mean, police used to be able to drag black people out in the streets and hose them down and sick dogs on them and tear them apart. And we never really had the conversation that where do we get away from that?
We definitely had the conversation.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. He's never had to have a conversation with his. I don't know if he got kids or not, but he never had to have that conversation with his kids on if you was to get pulled over by a cop on what you need to do. We just seen plenty of videos and stuff like. And listen, I'm not saying that something is necessarily we do need police officers. We need police enforcement. Law and order. We do need that. I honestly believe we need way more black people becoming police officers, district attorneys, lawyers to make it, an even playing field, especially when it comes to our communities, because we know the issues within our communities. We know that, we need to change this whole baby mama epidemic where these kids is growing up without their dads. We know that a lot of these dudes don't need to be having no damn kids, but yet these women still allow them to bust in them, and then they having these babies, and I can do it by myself. I don't need no man. We know all that shit need to stop. We know that. We get it. But let's not take away the actual real instances on where like there's a genuine fear when it comes to the police. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Legal CPL holder, licenses, everything is all on point. But if a cop get behind me, I still have somewhat of a fear. Why? I'm not 100% sure. And I even tell my kids, like, you don't got no. Listen, my kids were scared of the cops, and I had to ask. I'm like, why are y'all scared of the police? Because I don't come out and say things like, oh yeah, you need to be scared of the police, or if the police, and mind you, my children are they under the age of 10. I've never once had like put a bad taste in their mouth when it came to police or nothing. They instantly feared them, and I couldn't understand why. And I still really don't even understand. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask them just to see. You feel what I'm saying? But there's a genuine fear. There's a difference between us and them when it comes to certain shit like that. So you can't just sit here and say, like, take that into account. Like, there needs to be more of our own people policing our areas. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, so he can't take that away.
Like,
after George Floyd, the whole country blew up under the conversation. Okay.
Yes, but it was a big standing on should cops be able to do this. It's almost as if when a black person is murdered by police or at the hands of the police, the gun, bullet that came from a police officer's registered gun. Which happens
on average how many times a year would you say a black person killed by police?
I mean, at one point it was happening
Unarmed.
at least. Okay, if it was happening at least last year, it was going on about. It was at least a month that it was a major case. But in terms of the average city, I don't know the average city.
Right?
I know though, but
so
in terms of what actually makes it to major media,
No,
because not everything.
it's the Washington Post's own database, left wing, 10 black individuals a year. So here's my contention.
Go ahead.
So you have a population that dads are not around, that is very, very murderous per population capita, that is very violent, more likely to be involved in gangs.
Now remember, the government had a part to play in that as well when it came to the dads not being around. Let's not forget the war on drugs, which was geared strictly towards who? More towards black people and they class the hippies, but it was dealing with marijuana. Remember crack? They wasn't as heavy if you got caught with coke, but crack, oh yeah, they was coming at you. Then welfare, they actually had people that would come into your house and go through your entire crib to see if it was a man there. And then our women chose the government and benefits and all that in order for what? For them to get benefits. So it's like, okay, if I had this baby, I don't need you no more. Bye. The government gonna feed me. That's why I don't need no man and all that came about. And then there was another point too, but I kind of forgot.
And we, as conservatives look at that and we say, wait a second, like the problem is within the community. The problem is not the government. The problem is not the culture. The problem is not the history. Instead, really what needs to happen is black leadership, black pastors, and black dads need to go into the black community and say, we're better than this. Cut the killing, cut the violence. Do you know the most, one more point.
Go ahead.
Who is, outside of heart disease and all that, what is the number one killer of black people in America?
I know about like diabetes, but
Fellow black people. A black person is far more likely to be killed by another black person than anything else. Black people are a greater threat to their own people than any other community. So it's not like white supremacists coming into these communities and they're mowing down. It's black on black gang violence.
but that,
Listen, we gonna cut it short there. I mean, he has some of his points, but I can't just let he can't just rock, you know what I'm saying, 100% on that, because while yes, we have to hold our communities accountable, we have to hold the people in our communities accountable, and we slowly but surely getting that shit together, one family at a time. You feel what I'm saying? We doing it. I know, me personally, I know a lot of black men, bro, that are in their kids' lives, like 100%, my dog. I mean, they take care of their babies. You feel, whether they with the mom or not, they take care of their babies. We talking, I know, married men, all of that. And then on the flip side, I know a whole bunch of baby mamas that's single as hell. No man. Listen, I'm just keeping it a buck. I know the difference, and at the end of the day, like, yeah, we got to get our community together, but another thing we also got to understand too is like we got to get our women together too, because that's really a way, like, how they got to us. You feel me? But we fixing it. But he can't just like scapegoat that shit like that. And that actually, you know what? That is a great segue to the next topic. It's a great segue. I'm glad he even said that. Why? Because let me pull it up and y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about. Oh man, not my computer freezing. Come on now. Perfect segue. Bam. So it's taking me right into this one.